Today we are going to do some chaining. I know many of you really enjoyed this when we were in school, so I hope you are excited. Get out a piece of paper and a pencil so we can do our chaining. You're going to go ahead and chain along with me as we go. How to chain, in case you forgot. You're going to grab your pencil and your paper. You're going to start with the first word I give you, and you're going to change a sound to make a brand new word, the next word that I say. Our first chain is going to start with the word oil. You can go ahead and write the word oil on your paper. Next, go ahead and draw your arrow. Turn that word oil into the word boil. What do I need to add to turn the word oil into boil? And where am I going to put that sound? Go ahead and make sure that's written on your paper. To turn oil into boil, I need to add a B at the beginning. Boil. B-O-I-L. After you have written down the word boil correctly, go ahead and draw your next arrow. We are going to turn the word boil into coil. So this word has the same ending sound, the same oil at the end, but this starts with k, coil. Go ahead and change that from boil to coil on your paper. Coil is spelled C-O-I-L. So I replaced the B with the letter C. After you have the word coil written correctly on your paper, go ahead and draw your next arrow. Now I want you to change the word coil to the word join. This chain has two changes, but the oi sound in the middle stays the same. Change coil to join. Go ahead and do that on your paper right now. I know to change from coil to join, I need to change the beginning sound from a k to a j. I also need to change our ending sound from a u to a n. So I will be writing join as J-O-I-N. After you have that correctly written on your paper, go ahead and write your next arrow. Hopefully this one's a little bit easier for you. You're going to go ahead and turn that word join into the word joint. Joint. Go ahead and write that on your paper. Joint. Hopefully you notice that I'm going to keep all the letters in join and just add a t at the end, a T. So joint is spelled J-O-I-N-T. The last step in this chain is going to be draw that arrow and change the word joint into the word point. Go ahead and write that now on your paper. What do you need to change to turn the word joint into the word point? The beginning sound is different, so I need to turn that J into a P. So point is P-O-I-N-T. And that is the end of our first chain. Once you have that all written down, and all 6 of those words spelled correctly, you can go ahead and move over on your page and start our next. This chain is going to start with the word it. A nice, easy sight word. It. I-T. Once you have that written down, go ahead and draw your first arrow. The first chain we are going to make is changing the word it into the word out. I'm going to change that first sound. Go ahead and write that down now. You are writing the word out. So we had to change the first sound in it, the I, into an ow. Hope you remember from earlier this week how to make that ow sound and all of those little tricks and rules that go along with that. So is it O-W or O-U? Do you remember which sound was used at the which pattern was used at the beginning of words to make that ow sound? Hopefully you wrote O-U-T, out. Once you have that written down, go ahead and draw your next arrow. You are going to chain the word out into the word pout. So pout, you are going to add a sound. Where are you going to put it, and what letter makes that sound? Hopefully you know that P is made by the letter P, so you spelled that word P-O-U-T. Pout. After you have that correctly written, go ahead and draw your next arrow to be ready for our next chain. Now, I want you to turn the word pout into the word bout. What do I need to change to make pout turn into bout? Go ahead and write that on your paper now. So turning the P in pout into a B for bout, I am changing that P into a B, and bout is spelled B-O-U-T. After you have that spelled correctly, draw your next arrow and ready for your next chain. All right, now we are going to turn the word bout into the word boot. What do I need to change to turn bout into boot? Go ahead and do that now. The ow sound in bout is made by O-U. Ooh in boot is 2 O's, so boot is spelled B-O-O-T. After you have that written down, go ahead and draw your next arrow, ready for your next chain. We're now going to turn the word boot into the word root. How can you change boot into root? Hopefully you were able to tell that the B for boot needs to be turned into a R for root. Root is spelled R-O-O-T. After you have that completed, go ahead and draw your arrow for the next word. I ran out of room going down on my slide, so I made my next arrow off to the side. And I'm going to turn the word root into the word room. What do I need to change to make the word root into the word room? That ending sound needs to be turned from a t into a m. So room is spelled R-O-O-M. Room. After you have that, go ahead and draw your next arrow. And our next word is the word groom. Groom. I hear a blend at the beginning of that word. What two letters make the gr sound for groom? And how am I going to change room to make groom? Go ahead and do that on your paper. To change room into groom, we're just going to add a G on the front. So groom is G-R-O-O-M. Groom. After you have that, you can draw another arrow. Our next chain is going to be changing the word groom into the word grim. This time I'm going to change that middle vowel sound. I don't want the oo from groom anymore. I want the I from grim. So what do I need to change? Go ahead and write that down. To write the word grim, I'm going to keep that blend at the beginning, the GR, but the oo needs to be a I. I know that I makes the I sound, and the M stays the same at the end. Grim. After you have that, we're going to draw just one more arrow. We have one more word to chain onto this. I need you to turn the word grim into the word grime. Grim has that short vowel I sound, and grime has the long vowel I sound. So how can I make the I say its name in that word? I need it to say grime instead of grim. Go ahead and write it down. We need to add the magic E on the end to turn grim into grime. So you spell grime, G-R-I-M-E. Once you have all of these words written down, that is it for our chaining for today. If you need to pause the video to make sure you have them all spelled correctly, go ahead and do so. I look forward to seeing your work. Good job.